Good evening, everyone. This is More Often Than Not Sports Trading. It's currently the weekend of the third round of the FA Cup, which I think is a fantastic weekend. I really enjoy it. There's been some trading opportunities. I'm speaking to you on the Sunday evening. Currently got the West Ham Gillingham game up and running. Having a look at that. West Ham were just taking the lead. There was a trading opportunity in that as well, quite a nice one, which I took advantage of. Decided that I am going to start to share some of my strategies, so look out for those in the new year, and also just doing a presence on YouTube. Had a few views, but I think if I go and expand my social media presence, then for things like Instagram, stuff like that, then I think I might be able to get more of you actually looking at what I'm actually doing. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Going to start as what I normally start with the first scorers. With these, I would say I normally look at the top half here. I'd say anything below Spurs, anything below 50%, or really anything below 60%, isn't really worth looking at. When do I use these? Say if there's a 0-0 involving these top teams, then and you're looking at the statistics and it looks as though that there is going to be a goal. That's like the in-play statistics. I'll use websites such as Soccerway, LiveScore, or even the BBC website itself, which actually is probably the most reliable. You seem to find that the other two, Soccerway's full of adverts, and LiveScore doesn't do statistics for every single game, such as some of the cup games this afternoon didn't have anything on the LiveScore statistics. But understandably, they're Liverpool top. They're top of the league. I think I've mentioned before, they're very much like Mo Farah in the last lap. Get to the front, stay in front, don't let anybody go past you. The most interesting one is Arsenal. They were at the bottom. Arteta has just taken them over. They certainly played with more vigour in two recent games, and both have been about Chelsea and Manchester United. I mean, if it's not exactly two easy games to ease yourself in. He's been chucked in at the deep end a little bit there, but I liked what I saw, and it did actually lead to an identification of a trading opportunity, which I will do a video about. Basically, looking at what to do after the first goal goes in. But there you go. Take from this what you like. But it's certainly the Big Six there highlighted, and you can see why they are called the Big Six, with four of them at least. The over 2.5 goal data, these are done alphabetically for you to find the team easily, and this is done as a derivative of 1, so if it's 1 it's 100%, going down to if it's 0.01 then it's 1%. I think this is so important. You've got to categorise the games. You can't just look at all the games all in one. So I always go against the Big Six themselves, and without the Big Six. Are the Big Six going to be the same next year? Who knows? But I think most people are aware of who the Big Six are, and I've got them in the middle here. Okay. Some may argue that Arsenal shouldn't be part of that at the moment. Well, we'll see. Interesting looking at the ones against the Big Six. So if Villa, Norwich playing against the Big Six, all of their games have ended over 2.5 goals. When the Big Six play, a lot of the games ending up over 2.5 goals. But it's the games without the Big Six. The games where you've got two teams playing each other in that league within a league that is spoken about so many times, which currently Leicester City are top of. You can see there that they're one of the highest scorers. In fact, Southampton are the highest scorers, but Leicester City is second. in terms of how many times a game goes over 2.5 goals. You can see there's no 80%, there's no 100%. It's all around about 60s. Oh, just seen West Ham go 2-0 up, and there's about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second of the game left. So if anybody had any money on West Ham to win 1-0, I'm really sorry about that, but they've just literally put one in with the last kick of the game. If you had 2-0, you're singing and dancing at the moment, I should think. Anyway, so that's over 2.5 goals. Now, this is something that I haven't shown before, and it's something that I refer to when in-play trading. The expected goal performance. This shows me whether a team is creating scoring opportunities within a game. You've got across the top there the amount of home games, so you'll be able to see who they played at what time by going from this. So game 1, the first time they played at home, the second time they played at home, etc, etc. So if you had a game involving Crystal Palace, and because they're at the bottom of this, and the away team has just gone 1-0 up, you might take that on, because Palace aren't really creating many scoring chances. You could argue that, well, you know, they'll be really trying, etc, etc, because they're 1-0 down, so that changes the way that you play. But if that 1-0 down happens in the first half, then you could trade up until the half-time period, and see if the odds go down a little bit, etc, etc. That's what this is for. It's purely for trading on specific time periods within a game. You are trading, you're not betting. Okay, it's really, really important to understand that. If you are letting things go from the start of the game, if you're putting things in before the game has started, or if you're letting things go right until the end of the game where it's a little bit tight, then to me that's betting. It's not trading. If it's a bit tight, get out is my very, very strong advice. But if you want to pause this, okay, to look at XG performance at home, but probably I've spoken for far too long, so you can probably already see what you wanted to see. But with the home, you've also got to look at the away as well. So this is the away performance so far up until December of 2019. I did include the games from New Year's Day in this as well. Okay, so that's I should mention that. So this is the XG performance away, the amount of times that teams are creating chances. And interestingly, Manchester City had both home and away tables. Should they be higher up the table? Who knows? Who knows? That's football. That's what it's all about. Going on to this one, right? I normally show this graph. This is the one you want to be in. I'm identifying it here, top right. More teams in it this time. You've got Man U are just in it. Man U are this little one here. West Ham are this one here. New entrant Wolves in it. Liverpool, Man City, Leicester City. So all of this line here represents home. Okay, so if you are above this line, what this means is that you are performing above expected. You are scoring more goals than what your expected goals are. So you've got Chelsea over here as well. All these teams doing all right. Really, those that are expected or performing as expected are nearer the middle of the quadrant here. So Man City are doing very, very well at the moment in terms of the amount of goals that they're scoring. Okay, the vertical line, okay, this one here, this is the away difference. Okay, so if you're on this side, you are scoring more goals than what you're expected to. You're away from home. If you're on this side, then you're scoring less. The really surprising one here is Arsenal. Okay, solidly into this part here, or this quartile. Maybe that's why Unai Emery just had to go. They were getting further and further into this part, and it was obvious it wasn't working. Here there's a little bit of a clash you can see. I'll tell you now, this one here is Everton, this one here is Newcastle, and this one here, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll see that I've been saying that Watford aren't exactly doing well. It seems that Mr. Pearson has sorted them out, and they've done excellently over the past month or so since it was appointed. Some really good results for the Hornets. Worryingly, here, Bournemouth. Okay, I really like Eddie Howe. A lot of people like Eddie Howe, but at the moment he's not quite firing or Bournemouth aren't quite firing on all cylinders. I think the 4-0 defeat to West Ham would have hit them quite hard, because they're the sort of games they've got to do well in. So take from that what you will, but we shall move on. This is the first time I've included this as well. These are your goal times. Now, this to me is extremely important. When I'm trading in play and a goal has gone in, I want to see if the team is likely to score again. Whoever they are playing against as well, are they likely to score? Have they been scoring? And you can certainly see trends from this. So this is home. If you have a look, Everton, okay, remember these are games without the top six. Everton seem to come out strong and then try and hold and then finish strong. Okay, you can actually begin to see how teams are playing by looking at this. What you don't want is to come up against a lot of goals spread across. If you look at Leicester City here, they're scoring pretty frequently in every single 10-minute window. Yeah, there's a couple there where they're not, but you can see there that it's quite frequent. Certainly not many zeros in that, whereas in other teams there are. So again, take from that what you will. If you want to pause it, have a look at it. It certainly helps in play trading. You're looking at the away there. This really is something that you can do, and I think it helps massively, because it really does show the ethos or the beliefs or the understanding how the teams play when they have either gone a goal down, gone a goal up, and you can not necessarily trade the last 20 minutes, but you can certainly trade a patch in the middle of the game, and you can either trade the win or lose markets or the goal markets to your advantage. Again, using a bit of maths just to give yourself that little bit of a helping hand to create a situation that happens more often than not. We've also got games against the top six. Okay, I've said top six there. Oh, crikey, I know they're not the top six. Okay, I realised that as soon as I put it on. I just thought that I would actually initiate an apology to any supporter of the team who is, or any supporters of teams who are not one of the so-called big six. Any suggestions of what I could actually call them, please feel free to do so. But this basically covers games where the big six are involved. So that's the home games, and that's the away games. Normally what I've done in the past is I've shown the graphs for this. I'm actually showing it now team by team, so that you can see when it is that teams are scoring. There's not many goals in a 90 plus. If you see, say, if Betfair's on about 1.15 with 90 minutes gone, sometimes it's worth going into that and seeing what you can get out of it. There's certainly something to think about. There we go. That's the end of the slideshow. That's the end of me for December. Hopefully you've had a good trading time up until now. If you want to contact me, please feel free to do so. As I said, I'm going to increase my presence now, and I'm going to put a few more videos on about what I've done or what I'm doing. I've had a good day today, had a good day yesterday as well in terms of trading. Profit on both days, pleased with that. And here's to the next month. Okay, see you soon.